Good afternoon, Kyle Hosek, District 5. 7 months ago, I stood here and made this council aware families in Corpus Christi were being continuously denied lawful enforcement of a state jail felony, Penal Code 2503, interference with child custody. Multiple CCPD officers, as well as Internal Affairs, has confirmed that the Chief of Police, Markle, has a verbal policy not to enforce this statute. Since then, every attempt to get a consistent explanation has revealed something worse. There isn't one. As you see on the paper in front of you, 2503 is a state jail felony, and under the Code of Criminal Procedure, officers shall prevent, report, and act on crime. The Chief of Police does not have the authority to downgrade a felony or refuse to document it. Yet that's exactly what's been happening here for years. Internal Affairs has told me when officers respond to these calls, they already know they're only going to write a violation of court order, and that we do not write 2503 because that is not what the chief wants. Deputy Chief Breedlove later told me the opposite. He said there is no directive, and they do enforce 2503. Yet weeks after my last public comment, the chief privately told several council members that 2503 is civil. These statements cannot be all true at the same time. And it's not as though the chief isn't aware of who I am. He's viewed my LinkedIn profile. He's had time to research me professionally, but in 7 months hasn't returned a single call or email. Even Councilwoman Campos has told me directly the chief knows exactly who you are, but isn't interested in meeting with you. So the issue isn't awareness, it's deliberate avoidance. And the response from this council has been equally concerning. When I called my own district representative, Councilman Hernandez, he showed no interest in assisting and told me to get with the other members because he wouldn't get involved. Then stated, "Nobody questions the chief." That statement alone explains why this issue has gone unchecked. Councilman Cantu's email reply to me was not to address the facts, but to say he supports the chief, and in that same email said he won't support undermining law enforcement. He told me to show up at public comment if I wanted my voice heard. That is an oversight, it's deference. When documented facts are viewed as undermining, that raises serious concerns about bias. As you can see on the page on the backside, we have a total systemic failure to enforce this felony statute. Non-enforcement isn't neutral, it's dangerous. The national case of Chad Reed, the father shot and killed during a custody exchange after the mother refused to turn over their child, shows exactly what happens when police won't enforce the law. Earlier this year, Internal Affairs received a formal complaint, and after my follow-up has verbally escalated this complaint to Captain Weber, yet refuses to acknowledge this in writing or provide a case number. It's not a delay, it's damage control. The city attorney sits in this room. If he is aware that the chief is telling the public a felony is civil or that IA is refusing to document a complaint, he has a professional obligation to correct that. And I hope after today's comments, I'm not chased out of City Hall by 2 police officers after a speech against the chief like I was last time. That raises serious ethical questions. I've followed every step of this process. The council needs to act.
Thank you, Mr. Hosek.